Hello, my little jungle friends. How is everybody doing? Hi, everybody. Who do I see? Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave G. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Joe. Hi, Kat. Hi, Truth Seeker last name. Hi, Sarah Jane. Hi, Sugar Beat. Hi, 7389. Hi, Karen. Did I forget? Hi, Tiger Girl. How's everybody doing? Is everybody okay? Hi, Michael. Hi, Donna. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Sarah. Michael, I had. Hi, Brenda Bella. Tumbleweed. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Andrea. Hello. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is all right today. Was a long day for me today, but I wanted to pull through with this. So, yeah, sooner than I expected to see you guys. I was scheduling the live stream for tomorrow, but this I thought, couldn't wait because this was bothering me a little bit. And to be honest with you guys, I did forget that it's CeCe's heavenly 6th birthday today. So the timing might not be that right, but I just wanted this to go out there to you guys. It's so nice to see so many friends and subscribers coming back to watch the videos. I'm really, really happy. So everybody's always welcome as long as you don't attack anyone or call names, go real life, just be civil. Opinions can differ. So yeah, what else is there to say? Hi, KH. Did I forget Lisa? No, I didn't forget Lisa. I said hi to Lisa. We have two Lisas, actually. Lisa Conley and Lisa Donahue, right? Hi, Erica. So, I don't want to steal any more of your guys' precious time. I'll be going through with the presentation and with what I wanted to show you guys, and then we can have a little chat afterwards. I thought I'd be tired, but I'm actually not. So, yeah, let's just get right into this, okay? We have over 100 people in here, so I don't know. I think we should start, right? Okie dokie. So let's do this. As always, I share my screen with you guys. And thanks everybody for your support. Thank you, Dave. And thanks to the moderators as well. I'm gonna show you guys something what Dave G actually sent to me. Yeah, let's get right into this. Share my screen with you guys as always. Just have to find it. There it is. It won't be a long presentation today, but it's everything in there what I wanted to show you. So we're gonna look into if CeCe's bedroom was caught on Shanann's phone. So did Shanann know that the kids weren't in their beds when she got home? August 13th, 1:48 a.m. in the morning. And this was kind of, I don't know, I don't want to debunk anyone, but what I wanted to say is, this was just on my mind and I couldn't find rest with this because this would be so horrible additionally to what actually already happened, so this was just on my mind all the time and I wanted so bad this not to be true, but I think we found something with the help of my moderator Dave G. I think we found out what really actually happened and what not what Shanann caught on her phone, but yeah, maybe we prove it, maybe we disprove that she did or didn't see CeCe, not in her bedroom. So now I cannot watch the chat or look into the chat and answer you guys' questions. I still haven't got a second monitor because I was working, but I'm gonna go definitely next week and get one. All right, so this presentation contains images that some of you guys might find disturbing. It's not that I show any dead bodies or something, but the view of the beds and stuff alone is quite heartbreaking, and that's why I put a little caution disclaimer. All right. Okay, let's get right into this. Did Shanann see that her babies were not in their bed? Let's find out today, right? So first of all, I wanted to show you CeCe's bedroom. I wanted to show you exactly where the camera was positioned, right next to the window, okay? You see that in that red circle? On top, on top to the right, you see the actual view of what this would have looked like on the baby monitor. And as you can see on the picture below to the right, you see the actual screenshot from the body cam. So it doesn't differ really. So this would have been the view they would have on their baby monitor. Okay. So this is Bella's bedroom. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't find a picture without that freaking doll in her bed. So I would have put that up, but I hope you guys forgive me. The camera was placed right in the middle of Bella's window, on her right window when you walk in. And here again on the top picture to the right, you see the view, what the actual camera would have shown. And below you see the actual screenshot also taken from the body cam footage, so you guys can go back and look at it. This is when they did the reenactment of when Chris Watts said, Shanann killed the babies and he saw it all on camera. They did a little reenactment. Sorry. So this would have been the view of Bella's bedroom on the monitor. Then here again, that's the camera view, a close-up. It's a little bit blurry, but I think you guys can actually see very good how it would look like. To the left is CeCe's bedroom, to the right is Bella's bedroom, okay? So let's get into this. So as we all know, or some of you guys know, I personally watched all of Shanann's Facebook videos, even before some of them were set to private or deleted, or I don't know what the family decided to do. But I often saw her while cooking or baking, and the kids were sleeping or taking a little afternoon nap. She was having the baby monitor on the kitchen counter, right? And this is an example to the left, a screenshot of her Facebook, of one of her Facebook videos. And I got that screenshot from Dave G. Thanks for that, Dave. So Shanann was seen using the baby monitor numerous times on her Facebook videos, like I said, while cooking or baking, and so on and so on. Okay? You guys can actually go back. There are still many videos available where Shanann does her little cooking and filming herself while baking and stuff like that. And you can actually see the baby monitor right next to on the kitchen counter. All right. So she also sent pictures of the baby monitor to one of her friends. Shanann liked to take pictures of Bella and CeCe because they slept funny, with the blankets over their head or all curled up or foot outside and hand inside or whatever, And these are screenshots from the Discovery. You'll find them on page 192, 193, and 194. This is when a friend of hers, I can't remember her name, called in the CBI or Frederick Police Department and said that Shanann sometimes sends her pictures of the baby monitor just because the kid's sleeping funny. So, and to the left, you can see the model. It's she's using a summer infant baby monitor and cameras, and I assume the left bottom, the picture all the way to the left would be CeCe, because you can see that glittery wall art thingy she has to the right, and this is where her big bed would be actually placed as well, right? Okay. So, why didn't Shanann just take screenshots and send it to her friend if she had it on her phone? Like if she had an app or something like that. These are the two questions I ask myself. And why was Shanann having the baby monitor with her when Bella and CeCe took a nap instead of checking them on her phone? Of course, she was filming herself with her phone, but then again, she also had an iPad, right? So why not just taking screenshots of her iPad or on her phone and send those to her friend? Because she didn't. She actually took pictures of the monitor, right? So these are the two questions I always had. So here you see, this is the screenshot of the doorbell footage. I took that from the news station 9 News on their YouTube video. And this is the picture I actually zoomed in. I think this is the best spot you can get when she's turning her phone. And please also keep in mind, to the right side on her phone, this is where her thumb is. Okay, so she's holding her phone slightly sideways, and on the right side is her thumb. Here is the doorbell footage with a zoom. So I did not enhance or put any filters over this. I just screenshotted it as it is and then just zoomed in and cut out this part. All right. So now let's look at this. I found it quite interesting that, the whole screenshot I took from her doorbell from the doorbell footage doesn't match either of the children's bedrooms. You see that bar or large black spot down here. I mean, it could be a shadow or something, but after all, to me, it doesn't match the beds. Does it to you guys? I don't know. Does it to you? It doesn't. It certainly doesn't to me. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Capri. Right? So I was thinking, well, this bar or black spots you can see on the actual screenshot of the body cam footage. I turned it around, with my little PixArt computer program, but I couldn't make it out. So no, that was kind of weird to me because I couldn't match it. Also, it was said that Shanann could see the curled up or, bed sheet that was on, sorry, on CeCe's bed. I find that also impossible because you only see the portion where her head would be, as well as a part of the wall with the wall art and her headboard. And that's all you can basically see. So, yeah. Then again, here this is taken from the body cam footage to the left and right where they did that little reenactment. And here you see it side by side, and in the middle you see the zoomed in screenshot of the doorbell footage, just to make it a little bit more visible for you guys. So this one was actually, I blended it in a little bit. I did not change anything. I just blended it in so you could see a little bit better. And this is the original. to the left and right. Also here, same thing. It kind of doesn't match. I mean, I can, turn it and do things with it, but then it wouldn't be original. And then, it's just one view. So when you turn the bed to make it match, it's not the view anymore she would have had, right? So I don't know. What do you guys think? So here, this is also a screenshot from the Discovery. It tells you the exact model of the summer infant, the what we're using, and it's the model number 28640, right? Here you can see also the serial number, and it's Summer Infant Incorporated, and that was seized by police, obviously. All right, so did Shanann see that the kids weren't in their beds before she entered her house? So guys, are you ready for this? And I have to give 1,000% credit to Dave G, because he put my attention on this and he actually sent me that screenshot that I'm gonna be showing you in a second. And it just blew my mind, and then I knew for sure. Let's look at it. Are you ready, guys? Maybe Chris turned the camera away from the bed. No. Because it's the same view when they do the little reenactment as she always has. So I doubt he did. So, the Summer Infant Notice. They brought out a notice telling people, starting Wednesday, June 27th, we will no longer support the internet viewing function through Wi-Fi. And to the left, you can see on the fourth, is it the fourth? Yeah, on the fourth little dot, you see the Watts baby monitor model 28640 was ceased to have any support of Wi-Fi or the apps. Okay, so now we know 100% that she couldn't have seen Bella or CeCe's bedroom when she walked into the house, because their model of baby monitor did not support Wi-Fi or apps anymore. Okay? So, special thanks to Dave G, my moderator, for the screenshot. You're a star as always. And I really have to tell you guys this. If I don't know anything, and I ask him something and I say, you know what, do you remember this or that? Or can you look for this and that? He has it in a second. He knows exactly what I need. And it's like, shoot at me with information. And I'm like, I'm really, really thankful for him, because he had helped me a lot also with this, guys. And I'm really, really grateful and thankful that he decided to be a moderator of mine, and we're working together so well. So also thanks, Dave, for introducing me to him. Yeah, you're both stars, little stars. Okay, here to the left, that's the monitor, Wi-Fi monitor notice as well. And there I put it in a little red box where you can see the Watts model. It's 28640 baby touch Wi-Fi video monitor and internet viewing system. And that, like they said or announced, that is ceased in function from June 27th, 2018. And to the right, you are seeing their model number. So, yeah, I think, guys, we debunked, I believe, or I've shown you Not I believe. I shown you because I wasn't so sure at the start. I gotta admit, but now I know the answer is no. Shanann did not see that the kids weren't in their beds. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the intention wasn't to debunk anyone's work, but it didn't get out of my head. I found that so horrible to even think that this woman walking in, not seeing her children in her beds, and just the whole story, it was just like, I was telling myself, no, you gotta look into this because this can't be. I was so hoping, and then Dave came up saying, oh, they just saw us like a side note basically, and he was saying, oh, they took off Wi-Fi. She couldn't have had an app. And I'm like, really? Oh, send me this stuff. And he actually did. So yeah, that was quite, oh my God, KH. Oh my God, you're nuts. That is way too much. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I really don't have, I'm lost for words right now. Thank you so much. Oh my God, darling. This is way too much. Don't do that again. Oh my God, I'm really lost for words. Oh my God. Oh, you really got me speechless. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Also just because I'm like, I'm really happy that people support me and the channel and all. And it keeps me going when I receive so many nice messages from you guys, but I'm really not into this for the money. I just wanna, get the truth out there and try, based on facts, try to just solve this or answer questions, So you're really a star. I'm really speechless. So thank you so much. All right, guys. That was, yeah, quite a debunk, wasn't it? I mean, yeah. So here you have it. And I was, my head was like, oh my God, how can I find, I didn't want this to be true. I thought, oh my God, those people who told me, oh, she saw probably CeCe's bedroom and she saw that she wasn't in her bed. And I was starting thinking, oh my God, this is just horrific as it is, and if Shanann would have went through this also, oh my God. And I didn't want this to be true. And that's why I checked it out. So yeah. And then I was thinking, with the screenshots of the baby monitor and all, I was thinking, well, if I, make it right so it fits kinda, it wouldn't be a fact anymore because I would have altered the footage, right? So I was so glad when Dave came up with this. I mean, this is, yeah, it's not only a debunk, it's proof, isn't it? Because this is basically what they did. They cut off the Wi-Fi, so she couldn't have seen it because that wasn't working for almost 2 months, right? So yeah, we debunked it. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And let's have a little chat with my little jungle friend. Hello there.
Welcome. Hello. Good to see
Hello.
everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that was very good. Okay, so KH is a magnificent supporter of the true crime community, not just my channel, but several channels, and
Wow.
you're very lucky that you have KH over here, and we're all blessed to have KH in our lives. It not just with her, obviously, her monetary contributions, but I actually consider her a friend. I'm actually in private contact with KH from time to time,
Okay.
and she is an amazing individual, and lives in the wonderful state of California.
Ooh, nice,
So
nice,
yes,
nice,
so
nice, nice.
yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the debunk of Shanann not seeing CeCe's bedroom? Let's see. I'll read up a little bit on the chat. I haven't seen anything. So, what's your take on this? Yeah, it
I think
wasn't.
it's great work to start with. I believe it's great work because the way you presented it is completely perfect. It clearly states, and which I've known for a very long time, that Wi-Fi was no longer a function with those devices. So it was very, very well presented. I couldn't present it. See, this is the whole thing. I talk about things. My presentation of what you've just done is something I haven't got time in my life at all to do, and I don't have.
I don't
I haven't
have
got the
time
patience. I
either.
haven't got the patience to even. If I had have done presentations on everything Dave G said or has sent me over the last 8 months,
Yeah,
I actually wouldn't have a theory
yeah,
because
that's so true.
I'd be
He is
still stuck
brilliant.
trying to put a presentation together from the first thing he would have sent me. So I wouldn't be where I am with my channel in regards to breaking down all the information that's in the interviews, etc. Because I go through them all. I go through them regularly for all my viewers, so everybody can pick up something differently from time to time. And we all do. I don't throw my spin on all of the interviews. I allow others to actually present things to me and send me emails and give me information on what they've heard.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have a community out there that actually truly does want to get to the truth.
Yeah,
In
like I
this case,
said, it's not about to, oh, I have to debunk this and that. It just was, it was just not sitting right with me. And, to have that in your head, what this family went through, I mean, in their last couple of hours or something, and this adds to the misery. I just wanted to find out. Sue has a question. If they stop Wi-Fi in June, so I thought whoever had that older model, well, it still have Wi-Fi. Nope. I've just shown you that they cut off Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi was not accessible anymore. Neither were apps.
because when they had it connected, when it was actually using the recording facility, what actually happened was it was actually going back to a central database. It wasn't just being recorded or the Watts family having access to recording it. It was actually going back through an actual server. So when they actually cut the Wi-Fi access, they actually cut all access to it
Right.
in that
And
regards, everybody.
what I also believe is that she never had an app or this Wi-Fi, because why would she um, send pictures of the baby monitor, or have the baby monitor in the kitchen with her when she's doing stuff? I mean, she could have just see it on her iPad or iPhone, either way. So I don't think she had an app or anything like this to begin with. That's why I showed you guys the footage or the screenshot where she actually took pictures of the actual monitor. So yeah.
Yeah. So I believe, and you've done a stellar job presenting what you've just done, and I hope that eliminates any thoughts people may have that Shanann actually had access on her phone to the doorbell footage, to the children's baby monitors, because she didn't.
Right. No, I don't think she. Well, I don't even think I know she had not. So yeah, 7389. That was what I was saying too. It was her screensaver, and she also had one of these. What do they call these little wristbands you put on your phone? And this could be
Yes.
this could also be around her phone, and this is what actually, in my opinion, could cause this black stripy thing that's going through the phone when you look
And
at it.
Dave G is actually also investigated and looked into the strap that she has hanging from her phone. And I can pretty much tell you when she was in Arizona, she had that strap on her phone.
Right.
When Detective Dave Baumhover and Chris Watts had that phone in their hands on the camera, well, especially Chris at 2:14 p.m. roughly on Monday the 13th of August, you look at that phone, that little strap is no longer on that phone.
Yeah, but they mentioned in the discovery later that NA said this little strap thingy was gone. But then Baumhofer stated in his report that he has it. So the strap is there.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, but it was actually missing when Chris had it in his hands in the
Right.
house.
Okay.
So when Dave Baumhover says he actually had it, where did he get it from? Was it in her purse? Was it in the contents of her purse that was on the kitchen counter? That's the other question. Was it actually in there, or did they find it in a separate section of the house, or where did they actually locate that little strap that she had for her phone?
Right. Truth Seeker last name is saying, why is it a picture of the doorbell cam? Wasn't she and CW discussing something about the doorbell camera, or was it only about the garage door? What are you referring to?
They were referring to, I think, Truth Seeker last name is referring to Shanann wanting Chris to call Vivint. I think that's what that is more so than the doorbell cam. The doorbell cam's got nothing to do with Vivint. I just thought I'd let everyone know. It's its own separate company. So they were discussing in regards to Vivint, Chris having to contact Vivint for some reason or whatsoever.
The Vivint is the doorbell camera as well, but she was asking him to call Vivint because of the garage door sensor.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, that's what it was about. It was the garage door sensor. That's correct. You are correct. Well said.
I swear they say in the discovery that Shanann's Apple Watch is the black and green one, but hers is as mine. It's rose gold. I did not see that they say it's black and green. They referred, as far as I'm concerned, they once said pink, and a different officer states it's rose gold. I think that officer that states it's rose gold is a female, so they know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And thanks for yourself. I just got corrected. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but she had a blue case, didn't she? So maybe before they took it out of the case, they probably put, it's greenish, like a turquoise or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing. Like whenever I do it live, and if I mention something, Dave G's like sends a message. You know what I mean? So I'm looking over at my phone, and Dave sent me a message right now, and he just says,
"Yeah, Brenda, this is what I don't get as well. Brenda's saying, I think Mr. Rusek confirmed something was not working with the garage door as well. Then I ask myself, why do they have all these alerts if it wasn't working?
That's correct. Now, the thing that doesn't make any sense and doesn't sit well with me is why does everybody carry on and talk about the 527 Vivint alert that the door wasn't closed?
That
Okay, the
was the
garage
basement
door.
door, wasn't it? Or the garage door?
Garage door, right? Why do they actually all talk about it? And Chris actually makes a point of mentioning it about his alert that he actually got at 527 or whatever it was. That's got nothing to do with anything. Chris left at 546. So the garage door was shut, everyone. This is what you all need to realize. The garage door was closed when Chris left the house. The 527 alert, Chris made a point of mentioning it basically to cover, the garage door was left up.
Right.
Well, no, it was a 527 alert while he was present in the house. And still present, loading his truck and doing whatever he was doing in the garage or wherever he was in the basement, whatever he was doing that morning. So I just find it strange that there are a lot of people like to say he left the garage door up. There is no way in the world he left the garage door up, because he would have got another alert at 546. He left the garage door up. So
it's weird. Hold on, I have the whole router timeline here. At 4:23, Vivint logs, router logs Vivint activity. At 4:26, Vivint router logs Vivint activity, and that is the basement door.
Mm-hmm.
Then at 5:18, he starts his truck.
Mm-hmm.
5:25, his Apple Watch reconnects to the router.
So he's walked into the garage.
Right. At 5:27, he backs up. 5:39, his watch reconnects to his home router again.
Mm-hmm.
5:46, he leaves Saratoga Trail. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So the Vivint alert he got was his garage door being open while he was back inside the house, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the murders.
Exactly.
But a lot of people for 2.5 years have actually made a point, which is quite scary. They've actually made a point of that 527 Vivint alert. It's irrelevant, people. It is absolutely irrelevant. It has got nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Okay. The only way it could have something to do with it is if it was the inside garage door that went from the house into the garage.
Yep.
Okay. And at 527, if that is the one that they're actually referring to, well, we do not know if that was ever closed. That's one thing. And somebody could easily walk from the basement door into the garage without detection at all throughout the day, and not actually walk across the sensors that are within the home to share with everybody that the Vivint sensors that are on the ground, the main level of the house that are in the floor, to actually recognize any activity happening on that level of the house. So the person could have just been going between the garage, okay, and the basement.
Thank you, Maria. Right. And then I also just read what everybody thought wasn't in the, or do I mix that up? At 12:27, I have put Watts calls Nicole Atkinson and tells her to stop messing with the door. 12:27.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is from the first discovery that was out there, and it's since been redacted.
Yeah.
12:27, he calls her saying stop messing with the front door. And at 12:47, she is seen on Nate's camera leaving Saratoga. So she was there at 12:27 then.
Yes. Yeah,
So why
absolutely.
can't we find this anymore in the Discovery? This is the question I have. Hi, little Casa.
If people think I'm a bit insensitive when I giggle and stuff when it comes to this case, Megan J, who's in chat, think for yourself. She giggles at the entire case. Okay, so because Megan's got she's got a theory that's you know, it's up there with nothing. It basically, this didn't happen and they're all actors. That's probably the way to describe it. And there's some things in this case that make me wonder and think Megan's right. There's because there's so much has been taken out of what they originally released that they've left us with pittance. But what they've done is they've replaced things from the original to what we have now with other things that are irrelevant, and they kept the page numbers the same. So it's always been 1,960 pages.
60. Right.
Okay, it's always been it.
Yeah.
Then they've
When they
taken
took out,
things out and replaced it.
yeah, when they took out NK's phone bills, they replaced it with freaking pictures and letters he received in Weld County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like, huh, something's not right here. And then I scrolled back all the way and I noticed, ooh, her phone bills are missing, right? And at this point, I gotta say, nobody will stop me from asking questions.
Absolutely.
So
Can you bring up Angie's 70s comment right now?
Sorry?
Bring up Angie's 70s comment.
Angie
the most
70?
recent one. So Shanann. Okay, so this is those that are new to TJ's channel. I'm going to allow TJ to actually explain when she believes Shanann died, because I certainly believe no one died in the house myself.
Me neither.
And I'll let TJ let you know her thoughts on this. I came out with my thoughts on it on May the 29th. 12 hours later, another creator came out with the exact same theory, ironically. It was amazing. That was. But I just thought I'd let you know that TJ has a very similar thought in regards to when Shanann passed away.
Yeah, I'm pretty much very careful with theories because I usually keep them to myself and not telling them publicly because, it's not about being attacked or something. I have my opinion and I'm entitled to it just like everybody else. But I can tell you this in my opinion, and everybody who knows me, I'm not a believer in the shadows at all because I actually have the geotab and the movement and all the data, and I worked like pretty hard on that. So I don't believe there was were any shadows to begin with. I believe the kids were taken out Sunday night before Shanann got home. We have witnesses that state several sightings of white vans, trucks, or SUVs in the area. It made also a lady calling into police because she saw a white truck or SUV type of style car right on the route to Highway 52, which is right behind the Watts residence. And she was on her way home from work. I believe she was a nurse or something. And she rang in police and said, there's a suspicious white SUV type of style truck. And, I want to know what made this woman to call the police. And that was at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I believe the kids were taken out because we all saw somebody parked or drove into the driveway on Nate's footage.
At 11:25 p.m.
Exactly at the same time when he starts his 111-minute phone call to NK. And when it ends, exactly. Sorry. His phone reconnects to his home router. So where has he been for that time? And then you can see them or they or whoever the headlights belong to stayed there for exactly 20 minutes. And this is when Chris texts back Shanann, oh, that's gonna be late. I passed out on the couch, blah, 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 blah. And this is where I think they had to come up with a new plan. And I believe, like I said, the kids were taken out before Shanann got home. This is just what the data tells me, you know?
Yep. And I just thought I'd let you know that what people are doing in chat. I want to remind everybody that has forgotten what TJ said, and those that are just joining us. Right now in the United States, it is CeCe's 6th birthday. Should she still be with us today, it would be a very happy day for the Watts and the Ruzick families. But sadly, she's not with us. So it's a day of memory, a memorial for beautiful CeCe. And if anybody has access to putting in purple hearts or any coloured hearts for beautiful CeCe,
Yes.
Bella, Shanann, and Nico, please go right ahead and put them in chat.
Yeah, let's
I
fill
do
this
believe
purple
it's
heart.
and just have a little moment to reflect and think about those beautiful children and what they must have gone through in the last moments of their lives. I think it's disgusting. And to both the families, my heart truly does go out to you on this day. And it's it
On
is
any
truly
day, not
on
only on
any day, but more so
yeah.
on the anniversary of days. It's
Right.
you know, we're also coming up on August the 13th as well, everybody, in the very near future. So sadly, everyone involved on both sides of the families are going to have many, many sad memories.
Right.
You've got 4 beautiful souls that are gone, ripped, just ripped out of, and their lives were just taken from us all. So, you know, and it's not just the families, it's the friends, it's the everybody involved with this case, us here as creators. It's affected us all profoundly. Not personally, but just profoundly. It's actually affected us more so, like in our way. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we can actually do as channel creators to bring awareness and also let people know that there's, you know, there's families out there that are truly not having a very good day today.
Right. Thank you for that. Right. So, yeah, like I said, that's my personal opinion based on what I have found out. And also the dogs. Not recently, but a while ago, we had a case, my friend Mary and I, a family of a deceased male came to us, sent me a message saying, can you please look into this? Because their brother and son, he was underwater for 2 or 3 months, right? And they didn't find him. So they thought it's foul play. Turned out it was an accident after all. He jumped from a cliff and it was very hot on that day and he was a little bit smoking marijuana and stuff. And when he jumped into the water, he basically had a heart attack from the cold water and heated up and all. So this man was underwater for, I believe it was 2 months, a little over 2 months. And the police went out on boats with dogs. And the dogs found him 50 feet deep. So, and this, always keep in mind, guys, the dogs would have picked up. It doesn't matter if somebody has died a minute ago, 30 seconds ago, or 3 years ago. The dogs would have picked up. And I'm not talking about Jane, but the other dog handler. When he
Yes.
went into the garage and the female officer, I always forget her name. The female
Officer
officer,
Lane.
Lane. Lane?
This is Officer what is it? Lines.
Lines, right.
Lines. Yep.
And she said, do you want to go upstairs? And he's like, nah, something along those lines. There's no point. There wasn't a dead body in here. And this, I found that man very competent, because I've been watching him, how he, I'm not an expert or anything, but this is what I picture a real good dog handler. And he knows his dog, and he knows, what he picks up and all. And he said there's no point in going upstairs because there wasn't a dead body in here. So this pushed me basically even more to believe, no, they did not die in that house, right?
Yep.
And also, I don't want to be gross or anything, but I also agree with Dave based on the autopsy findings and also the circumstances. I believe that it was not the plan that the kids died. I don't believe that was the plan. I don't know. I cannot even tell you guys a theory on how it, in my opinion, would have went down, because I really push that, to think about it. I don't want to, kinda. So I haven't really thought about it. But I just think there was no plan for the kids, because he was seen taking out blankets and a cooler and stuff, putting stuff for the kids in the white Lexus of Shanann. This is when Nick and Amanda Thayer picked him up on that evening when he slept over at their house. So why would he do that? Why would he put children's clothing or blankets or a cooler or drinks or whatever he had in this cooler? Why would he put that in his trunk? Why? I believe the kids and Shanann were held somewhere. This is what I do believe. And I don't believe that anybody was buried on Monday. Because, or the kids weren't, I don't want to, it's CeCe's birthday today. I don't want to get into detail.
Correct. Very
you all
good.
know what went down. But according to the steps and all that movement I found out at survey, he did not climb any stairs. He had his phone with him because it shows activity, but it doesn't show flights climbed. So to me, he wasn't up there at all. He did not have time to do all this. It's impossible. I watched recently a video of a Navy SEAL. He dug up, he basically, it wasn't for this case, but they were like betting something, how long it takes him to dig a grave, right? And that were 2 Navy SEALs. You can actually find that on YouTube if you put Navy SEAL digging a grave or something. And these guys are really pretty good trained, right? So, and it took him, I think, for 7 inches or something, I think it took him 45 minutes. So how the hell would CW do this in 20 minutes? There's no way. I don't think so. I think that, and then there comes also Troy McCoy into that picture. I don't want to, say that he knew anything or was there or something, but this guy is so suspicious to me because he lied. And actually, normally if somebody lies one time, I don't believe him anymore. Depending on...
Just quickly, sorry, I just want to interrupt and interject. I'm sorry. Troy McCoy, those that weren't aware, was a workmate of Chris's. He also had access to Survey whenever he wanted because he had a key to actually get in the gate.
I mean, you can jump over that too.
You can jump over that. It's like a cow paddock's gate. There's like nothing to it. You could easily break that padlock with a like a wrench, maybe a crescent wrench, Who knows? he also was suspiciously out there on the Tuesday with the water truck guy, but he never ever mentioned in his first interview that he went out to Survey 319 to the police on the Tuesday. Never ever mentioned it until his second interview. So he actually did not mention at all he'd been there at all on the Tuesday. And there is no actual proof that Troy McCoy went to the office on Tuesday morning, on the Monday morning, when he says he was there to get a burrito, because he was waiting for the burrito guy at 7:30. There is no actual proof that Troy McCoy actually was in the office at all. People need to be made aware of that because nobody physically saw him. And obviously, Anadarko's cameras, all 200 of them, don't work. Quite obviously, because nobody gave us any verification of NK arriving at work on the Monday or when she left. It was only her word and her phone that actually gave us a whereabouts of her at 2:28 p.m. on Monday. Her phone connected to us, made a phone call. Well, she received a phone call at 2:28, and the last activity publicly available was her phone pinging in Frederick at 6:16 a.m. on the Monday, and she was never, ever questioned. No one was questioned. Chris, to this day, has no idea why nobody has ever brought up the 6:16 a.m. ping alert. It's mind-boggling, everybody. No one understands. And when you get to Tuesday and you get to the rigor mortis still being in Shanann's body on the autopsy table on the Friday, there's no physical way she could have passed away Sunday evening into Monday. It doesn't make any sense because she had rigor mortis in her small muscle groups on the Friday, on the 17th, during her autopsy. So I believe Tuesday evening, later Tuesday afternoon, after the porch interview, after Troy McCoy was out at Survey, I believe Shanann passed away and was buried after it rained at Survey on the Tuesday evening up until about 9 o'clock it rained. So anytime after 9 p.m. and before 9 a.m. Is the way it works in the discovery for a timeline. So after 9 p.m. Tuesday night into 9 a.m. on the Wednesday morning, I believe that is when Shanann's body and the children were disposed of. And there's no other way to describe that. I'm sorry, but that's the only way any of it makes sense. There is no possible way, in my opinion, at all, that anybody was in that house. The children were not in the house on the Sunday night and the Monday morning after Shanann got home. And there was no floor activity at all after 2 a.m. until 4 a.m. on the main floor.
Yep.
Everything happened prior to Shanann coming home with the children, whatever that was. And then when Shanann she's walked upstairs, walked downstairs to the main level, walked down to the basement. There's her 3 flights of stairs. And as TJ discovered quite well, at 1:51 a.m., there was no more activity on Shanann's phone at all until it was turned on officially at 2:14 p.m. on Monday the 13th. And I believe that Shanann was ambushed down in the basement. The one person that I do know, now if she was put into a chokehold and removed from the house at that time, the one person that I do know had military training was Dwayne Kessinger. Nobody else truly had military training in any way, shape, or form. So it's up to everybody else to decide what they think, what they believe. All I can do is put a theory in motion for I don't believe in the chloroform, but that's my opinion. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So I believe it leaves a burning sensation or burn marks on people's faces.
Only if you use it more than once.
Yeah, well, to keep somebody constantly sedated, in a sedated state, I would imagine, so they couldn't fight back, you would have to constantly be using that or putting them into a chokehold to actually render them unconscious. Yeah, to render them unconscious. So that's my theory in a nutshell, and I believe it's very close to
Yeah.
Yours.
Betsy Barn, I thought Shanann tried to order hairspray on her phone at 2 a.m. No, she did not. That was
It
an
was an automatic.
automated order.
It was, yes.
Yeah, that's
Troy
because her credit card was declined and stuff. Right.
Somebody's in here called New Zealand Mysteries. Welcome to the channel. Troy McCoy is a fellow co-worker of Chris, who worked out at Servi, who no longer works at Anadarko. He's an online gamer right now, and he no longer nobody associated with this case apart from Danielle Hadel, who was hosted by NK from Friday through the whole weekend. In this case, she's the only person that I know of that is actually still employed by Anadarko / Occidental, whoever they are. So it's very, So Troy was a co-worker of Chris's that knew NK and lied his butt off throughout his interviews, and especially his second interview. It's quite disturbing. It is disturbing, the things that he talks about in his interview.
Yeah. And I also could not find out why it was so important for him to get the word out there that CW was wearing baggy clothes. You know, he's not telling the truth, but he's calling up Melissa. He's calling up Chad, saying, "Oh, don't forget, he wore his old work boots and he was wearing baggy clothes." And they called in police and said, "Oh, I wanted to add to my interview. He was wearing baggy clothes and his old work boots. Who cares?" So this must be something of significance, but I did not find out what it is.
Lily Shaw, Danielle H. works for what is it, Trans Tasman Geosciences or something, whatever the bloody were called up there.
She also works for an oil field company. She's also a what is it called? Geoscientist?
Yeah, geosciences. Yeah, she's also a geologist.
Thank you, Miss Thing B.
Okay, so the geologists in this case that we all know of are Danielle Hadel. They are Jim Kutowski and Nicole Kessinger. They are the three geologists involved in this case. Now, if you're disposing of people in oil fields, or if you're disposing of people in the ground of oil fields, I suppose geologists would be three good people to have involved in the disposal of a body. Yeah. They would have a fair idea about ground conditions, about all sorts of things. And if you look at it that way, you have a multitude of geologists that I believe are involved in the disposal of these people.
Yeah, Danielle works still at Sunburst, Lily, but she's also a geologist.
Geologist, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, New Zealand Mysteries. Oh my God. Sophia wants to know, yes, framed Dave, but why?
Yes, framed, but why? Well, the thing is,
he's not innocent. Just to make it clear to everybody.
No.
He's right where he belongs.
He didn't stop it.
Exactly.
He didn't stop it. He knew something was probably going to happen to Shanann. Okay, but the thing is, it's the final piece of the puzzle for me. Okay, and I have to go, and I'm doing an investigation into a very dark part. Not when I say dark. Now, this is nothing to do with NK and her dark things and Cadel's fake claims in her books. It has nothing to do with cults. It's nothing to do with anything. This is to do, where I'm going to now, is to do with where Shanann came from, why she fled, ended up in Colorado, and was she found in Colorado by people? Okay, did she become a target? And that is how Chris gets framed and why. That's how I'm trying to make all this fit. Okay, now I'm in Australia, very hard to investigate, but I've got people in America that are doing a lot of this for me right now, which I do appreciate very, very much. It's a part of the case nobody ever wants to discuss. Well, I'm going to discuss it with TJ. Okay,
Yep.
in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and part of our little thing that we're going to do together, bringing to light what we believe, how everything happened, and all done with all the data, following the data.
Right.
You follow the data, it actually gives you a theory. And
Yeah.
it's not a fake theory, people. This is what you need to understand. It's not just a theory. You follow the data
No,
correctly.
this is all what you can, it's all publicly available. I mean, you
Correct.
just have to put a little bit more work into it and find out how the systems they used actually work. And then it gives you the answers. I have had no clue what geotab is or something like that, but I just was interested in it. And I said, hold on a minute. I mean, if he wasn't supposed to make or take phone calls and it would show up in his geotab, why haven't we seen it? Right?
That's correct. Unless they were in different vehicles.
Exactly. So he would never, ever. Same with the freaking picture he said he sent to NK as prove me you're at work or out in the field or whatever she said to him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He took a picture with his private phone of his work laptop. And like we now know, thanks to Troy McCoy, because he was talking a little bit too much to the officers, they get the data on oil levels on their work computers. If there's a leak or, if there's something to do, so the operators know the oil level of the tanks. So why would I assume? I cannot prove it because, yeah, that's another thing. We did get almost every picture he took, but this we didn't. Why? Right? The picture of his work laptop we did not see because there are some people like ourselves who dig into this stuff and they would know it's the data from the oil levels probably. So why would he send this to her? Why? From his personal phone. It makes absolutely no sense. And then calls and texts and does whatever from his work phone. It doesn't add up. And why don't we have this picture in the friggin' Discovery? Why? I want to see it. I want to see what he took a picture of.
Well, there's that, and there's also all Monday morning.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Chris wants to know why none of his text messages and phone calls from his personal phone to NK have ever been released about Monday morning when he was driving out to Survey. Okay. Apparently, Chris made several phone calls and sent several text messages on that 1 hour's drive
Right.
to Survey. If
This is what I heard too.
that is in fact where he drove to. Because now, if there is a point which you and I need to investigate a little further, is there a point from where Troy lived? Okay, because I've got to make this sound like I'm not.
Just say it.
Right. Is there a point where they could have both met that doesn't indicate they stopped along the way? So did they both meet in an area where they stop at a set of traffic lights? You know what I mean? And swap drivers. That's the...
I checked into this and they both took completely different routes.
Different routes.
Yeah.
Okay.
According
right.
to the data.
Yep. Okay. So what would happen if, so let's just say Chris didn't have his work phone. What if the work phone that he was swapping, what if the Fire Stick meetup was to swap phones?
You mean if he did not have his work phone?
What if the Fire Stick meetup on the Friday was to swap phones with Troy?
But then when he attempted to call his boss, like Luke, And when he attempted to call Cody or Chad Michaels that morning before
David
7
Neal.
a.m., they would have heard it's not him if he hadn't had his phone. If that makes sense.
You're right. Yes, okay, I'm with you. Yes, okay. Yeah, don't worry. This is me.
We
Just,
debunk ourselves right here.
yeah, we'll just debunk ourselves right here
It's
now.
just,
So, yeah, okay.
Getting thoughts out, really.
There's something there's just something that isn't right about where's the information that, because if Chris was making these phone calls to these people from
Dave,
his
a
work
message
phone,
to you.
what you're doing is wrong. No one but Chris is responsible for all of this. The Oxy is why she didn't fight back. Dave, I'm an Aussie, and what you're doing is wrong. Karina.
First of all, can I say something real quick? Me and Danielle made a video about this, or actually. So if you go back and watch that video of the autopsy, Shanann would have certainly know if Chris gave her oxy, because they come in 3 different colors and they are rectangular shaped. Right? So the oxy thing is a hoax. She would have noticed if he gave her oxy. It differs to her other stuff, medication she was taking. That's what I have to say to this.
And I just wanted to add Karina Fraser, because she so eloquently wrote my name in the
That's
in
why
the
I sent
message.
the message to you.
Okay, so how can this be a conspiracy thought when all we're doing is following the evidence? We are following the evidence. A conspiracy, if you want to look at it, is 9/11. Okay, perfect example. If you actually want to create a conspiracy against the US government, talk about 9/11. Okay, that's a conspiracy theory. If you actually want to talk about the Chris Watts case, this is not a conspiracy theory. Pretending the Queen and everybody killed Princess Diana, that's a conspiracy theory. We are actually following evidence from what we have been given by Weld County, following that evidence that they've provided to the public, and we're creating a theory. Now, everything, I can tell you right now, a message in my phone from Ronnie, righto? All they had, Ronnie said, what evidence have you got to support? What evidence have you got in regards to the 5? It's in here. It's actually
Exactly
there.
right.
Anyway, all the assistant DA said to Ronnie in his 30-minute meeting with him, this is an assistant DA, or her, I believe she was we have a theory. So we're talking, the district attorney's office had a theory on what occurred. They didn't have evidence, because we all know there's no physical evidence tying to Chris to murdering anybody. We all actually know this. There is no physical evidence. So what we're talking about here is an actual theory based on evidence. So that's why it is not a conspiracy theory.
Yep. I guess that question is answered.
I'm sorry, but I don't like getting accused of something that I'm definitely not doing.
You're also right, Stacy. OxyContin isn't easily crushed or tampered with. Exactly. And
you got to remember, the Oxy came from Catel's book.
Exactly.
Okay, so and she's a plagiarist, so it makes up stories.
Yeah, and
there's no guarantee that actually occurred at all, everybody.
As far as I remember, Chris Watts said himself that she added a little bit.
Yep.
And and you can also see that when you compare her first book to I don't want to talk or badmouth her at all. I have had a little conversation with her as well, and we ended this on good terms. But yeah, you can see that he actually did not write everything in his letters that she, at least not in those letters she published. Just leave it at that.
Don't worry about Karina's comments from now. Don't worry about them from now on. He admitted to the crime. There was evidence of his involvement. He admitted to the crime. There was evidence of his involvement. The passion of Naga at Shanann, the passion of anger at Shanann being controlling and his mistress. He wanted her no longer and wanted the family. He wanted a new life. Yeah, well, okay, he wanted the mistress.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We agree with that, but there's no actual. He admitted, okay? Karina, you need to go and study the case. You need to go and learn about devil's breath. You need to go and find out what it is. It's drink. It's a plant that was actually introduced we believe, into Chris's drinks. It was a strange drink that NK was giving him. And there is every chance Chris was under the influence of this, which makes you do absolutely anything. Anything. It is like being on roofies, like the movie The Hangover, where they have no recollection or memory of what they did the night before. That's what this plant actually does to you. And there are documentaries on YouTube that you can actually see clearly what this does. And if you have no recollection and then you are actually informed, this is what you did, this is how you did it, etc. When you are now out of that state, there is every chance Chris was actually told what he did. And that's why I have an audio/video file on my computer of a phone call made to this Kim G by Chris that she recorded, where he says this Kim G is actually trying to get Chris to admit to the murders. Okay? But he said, in my heart, I believe I did it. In my heart, I believe I did it.
Can someone of the moderators please put the channel link of Dave up so you can go and watch his previous live stream from last night?
Yeah, that video is actually in it. So
right,
where he actually says it, unless
what do you think she had up on her phone? I think it was just her screensaver or something.
Yeah, probably just a screensaver showing at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's moved her hand with a phone like that, like on comes the screen. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I said
it turns the screen on. It's giving her the time, and it's showing her screensaver.
Right. That's why I said to you guys, keep in mind she had her phone turned a little sideways and her thumb was on the phone. You can actually see that when she's walking towards the front door. You see actually her thumb touching the phone and the phone goes on. So I think in my opinion, I don't know what she had on her phone, but it appears to be a screensaver. That's what it appears to be.
Yeah, she had a button. That's right. She had the iPhone 8. Yeah, that had a button on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The iPhone 7, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Had a home button at the bottom, I think.
Yeah, it could also be, Dave, that it was the doorbell camera. The picture of herself walking in.
Yeah, that is possible. Because our phone did connect to Wi-Fi, as everybody knows, at 1:48 a.m. So that could have been her phone actually connecting to Wi-Fi and showing her walking up to the house.
Right. How deep are we talking here with conspiracy? The drink you mentioned makes me think of MK Ultra. Wow.
Okay, so it's I'm not talking conspiracy. How deep we're talking here with conspiracy? We're not talking about a conspiracy.
No.
Okay, Chris actually mentions and talks about this particular drink he was being given that made him feel funny that NK was giving him. And it's also explained where he actually will be so tired. He would actually be in the middle of a conversation. He would fall asleep and he would actually wake up and still be in the same conversation and have no memory of that
Right.
time lapse.
I have
No
absolutely no
recollection
clue
of the
about
time
those
gone.
drinks.
Pardon?
I have no clue about those drinks or anything like that. Yeah, I don't. What is your take on the explosion theory?
I don't know. I mean, it could have been the original theory, and it all got stuffed up and stopped on Saturday night at the Lazy Dog, where I believe there were several people at two different restaurants. I believe there were two meetups, one at one Lazy Dog, one at the other. It's possible they even all split the bill. That's why it was such a nice round number as well. It's highly possible. Why was there no video footage of the Lazy Dog meetups? Oh, it didn't work. Not good
Yeah,
enough.
right.
I'm sorry. Why is no video footage of the Safeway meetup?
Exactly. I mean,
Why is there no
check the
video
area.
footage of? Why is there all
There
the
are
petrol
ATMs.
ATMs? There
There, there
are
must be
traffic
footage.
cameras. There's everything. Like the whole thing is a farce. Everyone, it is an absolute joke. She flew in the last known place. Okay, that she was seen alive by the general public was the airport. Why is there no footage
Footage.
of her walking through the airport at all and out to the car park and into the vehicle and who was in the vehicle that picked her up? Okay,
Right.
why is there none of it? I'm sorry, DA Rourke. It's disgusting.
Yep.
Disgusting. That should have been you got to remember, have you seen this person anywhere? Her last known whereabouts, okay, is not the body cam, not the doorbell footage, because none of us got to see that until forever afterwards. Okay, the last known footage of Shanann alive was walking through the airport. Not good enough, DA Rourke. Sorry.
Yep. That's
Not
like I
good
said,
enough.
the important stuff we don't have. They don't show. But they give us black and white drone footage images, you know? This is important. I mean, yeah, this is just I don't even know what to say to this. This, in my opinion, if you check out other cases, like the Daybell. Oh, and yeah, I got some messages asking if I do the Summer Wells case. I won't, because it affects me too much. I had a case with a girl missing and she ended up dead, and I still have sleepless nights over this. I'm gonna tell you about this girl. I want to do a little series on other cases me and my friend Mary have been working on, and they're really disturbing. But I'm not taking on, to dig into another child's killing or missing or something. Not at the moment. I just can't. At the moment, I can't.
Can you
So,
excuse me for a moment? I'll be right
yeah,
back.
sure.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
what did I want to say? I forgot what I wanted to say. I lost it. Yeah, the Summer Wells case. I'm not gonna be yeah, I wanted to tell you about the pinks. If you look at other cases like the Daybell case, they had him down using his cell phone pings to 1 foot, I believe, from I believe it was JJ's or JJ's grave, right? And then Weld County seriously wants us to believe that this phone ping is nothing. You know, that they pin you down like to the inch, right? The red car is gonna be Miss Thing B. The red car is gonna be tomorrow's topic. It's a very unpopular thing to talk about because so many people, you know, believe there is a red car. Then on the other hand, other people believe there is no red car. And I just, you know, just tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, I think it's set up, and we'll check it out together. There are numerous videos about the red car on the internet already or on YouTube. But yeah, I'll be doing one, show you guys what I have found, and that's it for me about the red car. Really. Ellie, I have sent Dave the red car meme with Rook. You were the one, Ellie. When Dave comes back, he's gotta share his screen with us and show you guys what Ellie discovered because she found the red car. So she really found the red car and it was hiding in plain sight, basically. Thank you, Stone Cold. Truth Seeker, he asked when was this photo taken? Exactly. He asked when, I believe that was in his interview, when they made him put the names on the tanks and stuff where the bodies were. And he asked from when this picture was, right? And you guys remember we did together on a live stream of mine, we compared those pictures together and we found out together that the sheet wasn't in the right place. So I recommend you guys who haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We did everything like live on the computer. We did overlays. We did, you know, this and that. Yeah. Hi, Dave. Dave,
Hi. Yep.
Ali just tuned in and she said, you gotta show the audience that she found the red car. So would you show?
Oh, yeah, I found it. I found the red car. I've got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I will. Just give me a moment. I'll share in a moment. I'll share my screen. So
Okay.
I'll just disappear for a second.
I want to know why the neighbor in the street has so many lights on a Monday morning, 2 a.m. Yeah, I actually got a email about this, but I did not have the time to check it out really. Well, this is the thing, right? Some people say it's a different day when she got home, but how do you explain Nicole Atkinson leaving at 1:49, I believe, driving off the driveway? How this is the only thing that, you know, how do you explain this if that footage wasn't from that day? You know, and that's basic. Yeah, I know there are lights in the background that probably, you know, aren't supposed to be there, but still, how do you explain her be seen on camera? Dave's got that red car. You guys
We
ready?
found Ali 7 with the thanks of Ali 79, everybody. I would like to present to you the red car. I would like you all to pay close attention to who's been guarding it all this
Yep.
time. Okay, we actually have located the mysterious red car. We did, and here it is. Okay, DA Rourke has been looking after and protecting the red car for the last
Thank you, Karen.
nearly the last 3 years. This was absolute quality detective work by Ali79 herself. And I'm very, 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 very happy to say we can present to everybody the red car.
Yep. Looks
This
pretty beat
is
up.
it looks like this would have done lots of
Oil clean
miles
strip.
going to and from Survey, I would imagine. But with thanks to Ali79, we can present to you the red car, everybody.
Yep. Nice. And Rourke had it all along.
He had it all the time. He's got it. He's looking after it himself.
Yeah, he probably has it in his garage along with what else?
So
On freaking evidence.
that is the red car. All right, for those that have never seen it before.
Ellie, thank you. Because when Dave showed that the first time on his live stream, I was like, I had to go to the toilet anyway. And I was trying not to laugh. Because I'm a lazy toilet. What are we talking about on my channel, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, you go figure. Debbie is asking, is there any reason whatsoever that Chris didn't do this on his own?
Well, there is, because he couldn't have, because he didn't take anybody to Survey in his truck. And then when he returned from work at 2:07 p.m., the police were looking at him around the clock. They actually were babysitting him pretty much around the clock from that point on until the moment of his arrest. So
uninformed officers nearby.
Correct. There is, and we've proven, I believe, by especially TJ and her hard work with the geotab, that no one was in Chris's truck apart from Chris when he left the house. So he had to have had help, no matter what.
Yeah, and you cannot mess with that system. So you cannot just take it out and put it back in. You have no access, first of all. And second of all, it would have given immediate alert to Anadarko. So there's no way he could have messed with that system. And he also says, you know, he knows that his geotab is recording behavioral movements and stuff. So he is actually calling, I believe it was Luke Apple, and says, in case you see something weird on my geotab, I'll be staying at a friend's house, right? Because he used his work truck and they had to ask permission. So he's actually saying, if you see, just in case something shows up on my GPS or geotab. So he's aware of this. He knows exactly. And also Troy McCoy mentions that CW called him, but never actually did in that first phone call. And he had to pull aside to take the phone call because they aren't allowed to take or make phone calls because geotab would have given an alert and they both had none. So the phone call just exists in Troy McCoy's imagination, but it never happened.
And this is a very small discovery, EDT. It's a very small discovery. It's only 2,000. When a murder case of 4 people, okay, well, technically 3 people were murdered. You are going, and you had 3 different agencies involved. You had Frederick Police Department, you had Colorado Bureau of Investigations, and you had the FBI. Would have been thousands and thousands of pages.
Yeah.
For this discovery, because you actually had three law enforcement agencies converge and put it all together, and all they gave us was 960 pages. There would have been thousands. They have got 6 months worth of NK's phone bills. They've got 256 pages that are actually redacted from her Google searches. There's another 250 pages plus
Also her apps.
of all from her apps. You've got 250 pages of what do you call it? Of messages that are not released.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There are thousands. There are thousands. You're going to have every message is going to be in the discovery. Every single message that Chris ever sent that's available or received is going to be in the discovery. All right. And they are all not there.
Right. What is he sidestepping in that garage? Yeah, that was what I was wondering too. I mean, I think if it's like some people suggested it's Dieter, or it's the gas can, or but why squeezing in with the top of his body, like the chest part of his body, like you really see him not just stepping aside, but his whole upper body moves to the back. So this indicates to me he's giving way for a larger object. And it's not, if it was a gas can or something, why not just step over it or pick it up?
Correct. And Ali, you're right. Kim G's YouTube name, which is Southern Comfort 85, just sort of for that with an underscore in the middle of Southern and Comfort. Okay, Kim G's YouTube name lists all of her channel names is longer than the What's Discovery. You're right. You're right. Okay,
Kim G's YouTube name list is longer than the What's. Yeah,
she's got 4 YouTube names that we've come across, all under the same account, where she's changed the names since December 2020. So it's actually.
Okay.
I honestly don't think Shanann made it upstairs.
No,
well,
she didn't.
Well, she probably.
not for.
She did. She did, I believe.
Oh, I misread that.
I honestly don't think.
Shanann. Don't think Shanann made it upstairs.
Well, she did, in my opinion, because there was 3 flights of stairs counted on her phone app, where she actually went up. Well, I believe she went up, and then she went down. She went upstairs to the bedroom. She went downstairs to the main level again, and downstairs to the basement. So I believe she went upstairs and saw the kids weren't in their beds. Downstairs, because Chris was sleeping in the basement. And at 1:51, her phone ceased activity, which was discovered by yours truly over here right now, Tanya. And she was potentially ambushed.
Yeah, and also what I wanted to say, many people send me emails saying, yeah, the phone or the watch doesn't count stairs when you walk downstairs. It does. It measures the elevation when you go upstairs, and it measures your blood pressure and pulse when you go downstairs. So the watch or your phone knows exactly when you go downstairs. Because
Can you explain why you know this?
differently.
What did you do with your phone? You did it for a 2-week period, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried that out. And then I was like, oh my God, CW didn't walk, that far at all. He had, in total at one day, on a normal working day, he had like 9,000 steps. And I do like 19,000 steps on a normal working day. And I'm like, oh man, I got to get another job.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely also counting if you go downstairs.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to chuff off in a minute. I just thought Yeah.
Do you think she was ambushed in the basement?
Yes, Stone Cold.
Yes.
We just answered that prior to you actually writing the question. Yes, definitely ambushed, and definitely by more than one person, in my opinion. Yep. The stain on the basement floor, the dog bark lots. Yep. Revocation, I think it is. Revocation. I believe Dave G actually has also discovered that as well. There was a mat that was originally on that bathroom, that on the basement floor.
A what?
That was not a mat. There was actually a mat that belonged there at the bottom of the stairs, and that mat was or rug or whatever it is, just a mat or a whatever you want to call it, was not actually there.
Okay.
When they came and looked through the house.
Yeah. Dave sent me something else today. I want to look a little bit deeper into, because he sends me stuff and then I go from one thing to another and another and another, and then I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, I got to look into this a little bit deeper before I can present anything to you guys. Sandy is asking, where does the thing that Shanann says "fu fu fu" come from, please? I have no clue.
I can't answer it either. I don't know. I only recently heard that she said it 3 times. And she's saying it like that. It looks like she's saying "fu fu fu" to several people.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I read that. But I have absolutely no idea where the actual it
Me
came
neither.
from. It's a bit like my discovery that I actually came across when everybody talked about little Bella was the one that actually gave the Lindstrom's son the idea that they were in a hole. Well, I proved to everybody that Jeremy Lindstrom's son had what he said had nothing to do, okay, with
Hi,
uh,
Catherine.
Bella, because he walked up to the table during Jeremy Lindstrom's interview and he said, I pictured them in a hole. I don't know why. That's all he said. Had no reference to Bella, and somebody out there for 2.5 years was selling this false narrative to the entire YouTube community that everybody believed. They all believed it. But there's no
Right.
reference to Bella. Where did he hear it? He probably heard it from his father on the Tuesday morning, the 14th of August, just before they had the interview. Okay, because on the Monday evening, Jeremy Lindstrom and David Collin were both at the Watts residence at the exact same time. NK called Chris. Everybody. NK called Chris on Monday night for the first 50-minute phone call.
Right.
And whilst they were present in the house, Chris was on the phone to them, on the phone to NK,
Yeah.
whilst those two were at the house. So it's quite easily, Jeremy Lindstrom could have overheard Chris mention something about them being in a hole. He's repeated it to his wife the next morning. The little fella's overheard Dad, and he's mimicked his father. Right? Absolutely, Lolo. He mimicked his father. Is my honest opinion when he walked up and said that statement. So when you get back to the fu, where did it start? Where did it start, everybody? This is the whole thing.
Where did it start exactly? And
Where
we
did
don't
it?
know.
I don't know.
I don't know
So,
either.
no, this is
Okay, before we leave, just give
yep.
us some more purple hearts for CeCe, please, so we can close this down and have
YouTube.
our thoughts with CeCe and the families today.
And if you can't find a purple heart on your phone, everybody, if you're on an iPhone, you just go type in purple heart. A purple heart will appear. And then it'll now be in your little smiley face area. You then just repeat that purple heart. And that's how you find them if you're on a phone. That's the easiest way to do it. So as you just saw, I just put some purple hearts in there for beautiful CeCe.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so and the reason we use the color purple is because it was Shanann's favorite color. That is why we do it.
Exactly, and also because it represents lupus, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Purple. Right. Okay, guys, that was longer than I wanted to be online today.
Sorry.
Because I haven't had a lot of sleep. Dave didn't either.
That is for sure.
Okay, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. And oh, I'm sorry, Sleepless in South Africa. Her sister has lupus too. Oh, I'm sorry.
Very sorry.
Yeah, like I said, if you guys wanna join in tomorrow, we're talking about their red car that already been found by Ellie.
We found the red car. Just
Yeah,
remember, you
but
you
still,
saw it here
you know,
second.
I
Everyone,
have
we
to
found
give
it.
my 5 cents to everything. So I wanna discover the red car, not you guys. No, just kidding. Yeah, Catherine,
Okay.
you have to rewatch. Sorry. Yeah, have a great evening, a good day. Be nice, guys. Be nice to
Yep.
each other. Don't say
Thank you.
mean things. And thank you, everybody, for being so kind and respectful in chat. And I hope I see you guys all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. See you
Thank you.
then. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.